Hello everybody and welcome to the Royal Chess YouTube channel. My name is Kanovsky and this is part 5 of my serial about Akiba Rubinstein, one of my most beloved chess players in the chess history, and of course one of the best chess players in the history of chess. And today I would like to present you two games by Akiba Rubinstein, in fact, but not complete games, but only part of these games, and concretely two end games from two his games, because we have already seen that Rubinstein was a great attacker and combination player. He was also, and I would say especially, a great strategical player, and his positional feeling was very deep. And we can learn really many things from his games. But of course, he was also a great endgame player, and I would like to show you one rook endgame by Rubinstein and one pawn endgame by Akiba Rubinstein. So the first game is from his game Schlechter Rubinstein from 1912. So as I have mentioned in the part 1, from the best chess year for Akiba Rubinstein, because in 1912 Rubinstein won all 5 international chess tournaments, which was a great achievement. Also regarding, or I mean, even for Emanuel Lasker, so world champion, and at the time didn't play any of these tournaments. Still, it is a great achievement by Akiba Rubinstein. So this is a game from 1912, and here we can see that the position is let's say almost equal. At least it seems like that for the first point of view. Because the material is equal, and there are 4 rooks on the board, and as you probably know, most rook endgames are just set to be drawing. But on the other hand, we shall see that black is clearly better in here, and he's better especially because it's a better pawn structure, because black has 2 pawn islands within his position, but white has here one pawn island, and here another 2 pawn islands. So in fact 2 isolated pawns, and especially these 2 pawns are big weaknesses within white's pawn structure, and Rubinstein was aware of it, of course. And although it seems that black rooks are active, but it seems they cannot go any farther to white's position. After a very strong move by Rubinstein, which is e5 in here, it is clear that black is doing a very nice way for both of his rooks, because after exchanging these 2 pawns, suddenly the center of the board is empty, is cleared, and not only that black rook can be activated by rook e2, especially in here, but also another rook can go, let's say, through d file, maybe through e file, and of course sometimes even through f file, so to play rook f6, and exchanging rooks could be also good for black. So here white should have tried probably something like rook c1 and c4, and trying to make a passed pawn, because he's got 3 pawns against 2 at the moment on the queen side. But after g5, it is still clear that black is just better in here. and I believe he should be able to win the game. But White was probably afraid of black rooks, and I would be probably too. So White tried to play rook e3 in here, which is I think not a good idea at all, because after exchanging on e3, pawn on e3 is in fact a bigger weakness than it was on f2, and after rook e6, White has to protect his pawn by a rook, which is really not what White rook should be done, should be doing in here, because now it's just protecting its own pawn, instead being active and attacking some black pawns in the position. And after rook f6, black is aiming for rook f2, of course, and on the second rank black rook would be extremely active and extremely unpleasant for White. So White did rook e2, but as you can see, White rook is really not active on e2. It's just covering its own pawns. After king e6, black is of course improving his knight. After king c2, king e5, that's another problem of exchanging rooks on e3, that black king has at the moment a beautiful e4 square for his activation, and White just cannot stop it, because after king d3, black can simply play rook d6, and after that king e4. So White tried immediately play c4, and after king e4, b4, making past c pawn. But on the other hand, black king on e4 is just too active in here, and the difference between both kings and rooks in the position is just too big at the moment. Black simply played g5, king c3, g4, and black is of course also aiming for creating his passed pawn, which could promote into the queen. And after c5, h4, rook g2, and rook g6. Another great thing for black in here is that, as we know, one of the basic rules of the rook endgames is that rook should be standing behind the passed pawn. So here black rook is standing perfectly, because it's standing behind the passed pawn. And on the other hand, white rook is in front of the pawn, so it's just passive. It's just protecting black g pawn, and the rook is not active at all in this position. So after king c4, simply g3 was played, and after exchanging on g3 and king b5, black just took on c5, and after king f3, rook g1. There are of course not maybe many ways, but there are more ways how to win black's position, how to win the game for black. But of course the most precise in here is just to play a6, because after a6 white king has to go, let's say, on a5 or c4, but both these moves mean that white cannot go farther with his passed c pawn, and black is just playing g2, king f2, and g1. White has to take black pawn, or maybe black new queen with a rook, and black is just simply winning in here. So this is a very nice example of the position where, as I said, on the first point of view, if we go back before that e5 move, In this position, it seems that black is maybe a bit better in here, but nothing else. But Rubinstein simply proved that his advantage is much bigger than we could think in here, and that his position is in fact maybe even close to win in here, just because the better pawn structure and better options for activating his rooks. So this is a very nice example of a rook endgame by Akiba Rubinstein. And another game I would like to show you is the game Koutny Rubinstein from 1909, and it is also a nice example of a terrible mistake, of a terrible play by Koutny in here, so the player who was white. And in this game it would be nice to see all the game, in fact, because white was trying to neutralize, or simply saying white was aiming for a draw in this game. It was absolutely obvious from the first moves. White would be just absolutely happy with drawing the game, and in fact the position is just equal in here. Also in here, black is having a bit better pawn structure, because white has doubled f pawn in here, and thus his h pawn is isolated. But after really very simple f4 move, there is no reason why black should be better in here, because he can simply play king d3, then probably, or something like rook g1, and okay, the position is of course not a clear draw. Many things could still happen in this game, in this position, but objectively said, the position is just equal and should end in a draw. But as I have said, white wanted to draw this game, and probably also as soon as possible, so he was changing pieces one after another. So in here he decided to continue with this idea, and he played rook c1, which is, as I have said, a terrible mistake in here, because the rook endgame was equal, but the pawn endgame is just totally lost for white, because in the pawn endgame, that better pawn structure for black is just so decisive that white cannot handle the game, cannot save the game, because after exchanging the rooks, black is playing king f6, of course, and here black king is not going to the center of the board, but he's going to h3, because he's trying to take and trying to attack the biggest weakness of white position, and it is of course a pawn on h2, and white has no other chance how to protect his pawn than to play king d2 and going with his king, of course, on g1 square. But here the biggest problem of the white position is that white can only play on two squares by his king, so king h1 and king g1, and in fact black has a very simple plan how to win. So Rubinstein played e5, b5. It is also a very nice move, because after b5 both pawns on queen side are blocked, and if it would be needed, black has one tempo with his a pawn, and every tempo is usually very important in pawn endgames. And after king g1, f5, and white just cannot make any different move, so he can only wait. But after g4, e4, pawns on e4 just were exchanged. And after h4, king g1, g3, white has to take, and in this position white already resigned, because it is clear that his position is lost, because after taking on g3, black is just taking it, of course, and then playing king f3, king takes e4, maybe even king e3 and takes e4. Not so important. And of course, then the plan of the win is easy for black. Then black is pushing his passed pawn as much as possible, and then the king is going towards white pawns on queen side. He's taking both of them, and of course simply winning. So not a difficult example, quite a simple example, but I believe quite a nice one, and a very nice example that playing for a draw with exchanging as much pieces as possible is often a very bad idea, and you can really simply lose the game by making something like that. Okay, so I believe two very nice examples from endgame part of the game by Akiba Rubinstein. I hope you liked these two games. I hope you like my videos. So thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for liking Royal Chess YouTube channel, and thank you for watching. See you later. We are still going towards two more parts of Akiba Rubinstein, and then you can look forward to another very interesting topic, I believe. So thank you again, and see you.